Hello, Julie here, and today I'm going to make another little element for my Cinderella album. Last time we made this little booklet that's got some pockets in it and some tags. So today I'm going to create a few items actually, and I'm just going to use this one sheet of pattern paper, double-sided pattern paper. It's from the Kaisercraft Peachy Keen paper range, and I saw this video on Paper Inspirations YouTube channel, and I will put a link to that in the description box below. Now to start with, we're going to start off by cutting at 8 inches. And then another at 8 inches, so we're ending up with an 8-inch square. Okay, so now we're going to score it. So we're going to score at, so we want a score line 3 inches from the left, so we're going to score at 3 inches. Now if your pattern paper is directional, well, now you'll need to make sure that you've got the top of your pattern up the top, and score at 3 inches on the left hand side. If you've got the same type of scoring board as me, do it like this. Some people have like a trimmer and scorer all in one, and in that case you would have to turn your paper upside down and score at 3 inches that way. I'll score that at 3 inches. Yes. Okay, so now we're going to flip that so that the bottom of the paper is on the right hand, and score that at 3 inches. So whichever is going to be the bottom section of your paper, score at 3 inches from the bottom. So we've scored at 3 inches and 3 inches. I don't know whether you can see that better there. So we've got 3 inches and 3 inches. Okay. Now we're going to just fold along those lines and give them a bit of a burnish. Like so. Right, so we are going to cut off this piece here. So as we're looking at it, we've got our narrow fold on the left, our wider fold on the right, and we've got our narrow fold on the bottom. So we're going to cut this piece off here. Probably should use some bigger blade scissors. This, as a matter of fact, I think I will. Okay, so I'm going to end up with something like that. So at this stage we can still change our minds. We could go that way, depends which way you want your flip to open. I want mine to open that way, so I'm going to do mine like that. So you can do it like that if you wish, have your pocket opening that way, depends which page you're putting it on in your album. Okay, so we're going to put a little divot in this. Now to do that I'm going to use my envelope board. And if I put this in there so that it's about centre, press that. Oh, I've put it in the wrong spot, haven't I? No, I haven't. So that's going to make that little divot there, like so. Okay, now we're going to take our ink and ink around those pieces, just where we're going to see them. So we're going to see this side. You don't have to ink, of course, if you don't like that. Depends on what sort of album you're making, I guess, whether you want the vintagey look or not. So I'm not going overboard with it here, just going around. Just really getting rid of that white cut edge more than anything. Put a little bit down onto the paper just for a bit of a grungy look. And we're going to, that's going to go like that. So I will some ink along here as well. And I will also ink along here because this is actually the side we're going to see. Okay, right, now I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and I'm going to sew around. I'm going to stitch down here first, so I'm going to open that up, stitch down there, and I will probably stitch down there as, no, I don't need to stitch down there, so I'll stitch down here, then I will close that over and stitch around the outside edge. Now if you don't like sewing, or you haven't got a sewing machine, or you don't like sewing on this particular project, you can just use your tape or glue. So just run a bead of glue here and here, stick that in place, run a bead of glue here and stick that in place. So I'll go and stitch that and I will be back. So there we have it, I've stitched around it. I have left these strings at the bottom, but I have stuck the ones at the back down so that when I put things in, because I plan on putting this into my album as a pocket so I can put things behind it, so it won't interfere with anything. So that's that section. Now the piece that we cut off the bottom, we're going to use that to make a tag to go in here. So we're going to, that pocket is, so it's a little bit less than 2.5 inches wide. So I'm going to, a little bit more, I mean 2.5 inches wide. So I'm going to cut this piece that we cut off the bottom. Remember we cut the bottom piece off there. So I'm going to trim that down to 2.5 inches. I'm going to use that as a tag in there. It's a little bit taller, but I don't mind that. Or shall I chop it down? Actually, I might just cut it down, say cut 1/2 inch off of there. What is it now? 5 inches, so I'll cut it back to 4.5 inches. How does that look? Yep. Okay, so now we're going to just cut our corners off. So to do that, I'm just going to trim what I think I want. And I'll turn that over, move it to the other side, and then use that piece to trim along there. I don't know about you, but they never look even to me. Okay, so that's a tag to go in there. I'm going to get my, actually I think I might back that with something because it's a bit light on, a little bit light. So I'll put another piece of pattern paper behind that, I think. Okay, so I've got some white cardstock here. I'm going to use a glue stick. Now, I haven't used glue sticks before, so this is something new to me. So I'm going to put some glue on the back of this. It says it dries clear, so hopefully it will. So I'm going to stick this on here, and then I can just use my scissors to trim around it. Ink around the edge of that. I will ink around both edges, so back and front. So it's got a bit more of a cohesive look to it. This will also be good for journaling. The back area being white will be easy to write on. Now before I put an eyelet in this, I'm going to go and stitch all the way around it. Okay, so there's my tag with the stitching around it. Now I'm going to use my crocodile and add a eyelet. So I'm thinking I'm going to use a black eyelet on this. Sort of a bronzy colour. So first of all, punch my hole. And put my thread in hole. Put that onto my crocodile. And then press. There we have a brad. And I'm going to use this lace to thread through my brad. I'll cut a piece, say about that big. Fold that over. Take that through. I need a little help to get that. A little bit bulky. A bit too bulky, I think. I'll have to get some other ribbon for that. So I've gone for some just plain white satin ribbon. Trim a bit of that off. Probably don't need it that long. Just thread this through. It shouldn't be anywhere near as hard. Thread that through there. Don't know that I want them that long. And there's our tag to go in there. Okay, so next, let's get some of that stuff out of the way. We have got this piece, and this piece measures what? 8 inches by 4 inches. So I'm just going to fold that in half. And we're just going to make a little notebook with this. So I'm going to get some paper. Okay, so I've got my paper. I've cut it down to size. So I've cut it 3 3/4 by 8 inches, and I have folded them in halves. Now, Sue did cut hers down a bit, but I'm not going to bother with that. I'm going to just make mine the full size. I will trim that off a little bit, I think, so that it doesn't poke out the edge. Okay, so I've trimmed that down a fraction, just taken a little edge off so that it doesn't poke out the edge there when I put it into my little booklet. So now I'm going to ink around the edge of this. Now I'm going to stitch my papers in there. These are just bits of A4 paper that I had in my stash. They're sort of just off-white colour, and they've got a beautiful texture to them. I've had them for years, and I think I might be able to start using them in these sorts of projects. I've got this sort of just off-white and a bit more creamy colour as well. So they will be coming very handy for booklet type things. So now I'm going to take this to my sewing machine. I'm going to sew all around the edge of it, and then I'm going to sew my signature in. And do that. Now this little strip that we had left over, Sue made a little ruffle out of that, so I think I will do the same. Well, first of all I'll ink around the edges. Just to take that white edge off. So then, and just fold it up into like a Z fold. Now if you don't sew, you can stick this with your glue, but I will sew mine when I'm doing the stitching around this. So we're just ruffling that up like so. There we have a little ruffle. So I'll go and stitch around the book, stitch the signature in and stitch this up, and then I'll be back. So there we have our little booklet with our pages stitched in, and our little ruffle that we can add anywhere we like to anything we like, and our little book can fit in there. So I would stick this, as I said, onto my page with the pocket at the top. Now we have got this piece left, so I'm going to cut that strip off. Okay, now we're going to cut this. Now, if you've got a different pattern paper, you might want to have a look which areas you want to cut to which length. So first of all, we're going to cut a 2-inch strip, or 2-inch. This is 4 inches wide, so we've got 2 inches by 4 inches, and then we're going to have a 4-inch by 4-inch piece. Now we're going to work out which way we want this to be. Should we want it like this? So these are these two smaller pieces are going to be our pockets. So that would go there like that, and then this one would go there like that. Or we can do it the other way around. So it's like that. I think I prefer it like that. So we're going to cut our divots in this piece, these two pieces. So the best way to get them aligned is to do them both at the same time. So I'm going to put them into there. So it looks about level. So this is 4 inches wide. So if I line that up with 2 inches, it should be the middle. And there we have both of our little divots lined up. So now I'm going to ink around the edges of all of these. Now I'm going to sew mine together, but of course if you don't sew, or you don't like sewing, or whatever the case may be, you don't have to. You can use your liquid glue to attach these pockets. I haven't really had much experience at sewing around those sorts of shapes, so I'll give it a try, see what happens. Can't be that hard, can it, eh? Anyway, I'm going to, as I said, ink around these and then use my sewing machine to stitch this little set of pockets together. So this will give us 2 pockets. So we're going to have 1 pocket there and 1 pocket there. When we attach it to our book, we can put it so that there's a pocket there as well if we wanted to, or we can just tip it, stick it in with a paper clip or whatever we wanted. Okay, so I'll go and stitch that up and then I'll be right back. So there we have it. Now it seems that sewing around this divot is a bit more tricky than I thought, so I'll have to either practice that a little bit more or not do it, one or the other. So we've got some space here for some tags now. So we've got our pocket with our little pad. Sue cut her thing down to 6 inches, and that gave her a 1 inch strip here that she could make a little pad with. Well, I didn't cut mine down, so I've got the full size book there, and so no little pad. So now I'm going to find a spot to put that in my book. So there's the one we made last time. So I was thinking I might put it on the back of this page. So I can stick that there, and then I could put that in behind it like so. So that's what I think I might do, or I could put it on there. Yeah, I might put it on there. Okay, so first of all, let's get some art glitter glue. Take that little pad out of there, and I'll still add this with a pocket at the top. You could add the pocket at the side too if you wanted to, so you could just go around the top and 2 sides, so you could have a pocket going in that way. So I'm going to put that down the bottom there like so, and over it with my bone folder so that it gets a nice good solid stick. Now I've left the sewing threads on here and there. I can always cut them off at a later date. See how I go. Now this one, and I'm going to go with that on there. Yeah, that would be good. Okay, So, do I want to put it so that I can put something in the top, or not really? I think I might just go with the 2 pockets, that's enough, because that doily is fairly light. I don't know that it will hold a great deal. So, I'm going to glue this all the way around. I'm not making any pockets behind this or tuck spots or anything like that. So this is going to be firmly attached. As I said, that doily is not that solid, so I don't want to put undue stress on it. And I'm going to try and make sure I get it on the whole doily. I'm going to put a piece of scrap paper under there. Oh, too late. Glue all over my transparency. So that there. Then I can put this behind it and take that out there because it's causing too much. I have got a little video showing how I made those hidden paper clips if you're interested. I will put a link to that in the description box below. So there we have our little pocket stuck to our doily. Just leave that to sit there to dry for a few minutes. Don't want that paper being stuck there. Again, I'm going to go over that with my bone folder, try and make sure that it's nice and firmly attached. Okay, so I'll just let that sit there for a minute and I'll pop that in there. So there's our page for today with our one sheet wonder, thanks to Paper Inspirations. Those strings are going to annoy me, so I'm going to cut them much shorter. And some on here are going to be shorter too. These ones on the seam, I don't need long ones there. We'll leave that one here, but I will trim that down a bit shorter as well. So there's our book. Can go in either way. So there we go. So there's our one page wonder today. Thank you to Paper Inspirations. As I said, I will put the link in the description box below. These tags will fit in there, no problem at all. Okay, so anyway, thank you for watching my video today. If you've enjoyed it, I will put a link to some of the other pages of things I've created in here, like that one and this. So check that out if you want to, and yeah, thank you for watching my video today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you subscribe and click the like button, you will be notified when I upload a new video. So I might actually put a piece of lace across there and put that little thing there. I'll do that right now, as a matter of fact. Go straight. Across there to about the length. I want to run a bead of glue along that, covering up my stitching there, but oh well, that's life. There. Then I'm going to use the darker side of this. The darker side, so I'll just run some glue along there. Just pop that down on there like so. And I will probably embellish these as well. So yeah, maybe I haven't finished this video after all. So what I'll do is I'll decorate this and then I'll come back to you and just show you what it looks like after I've decorated it. Okay, see you in a minute. So I have embellished this page a bit. I've got the tag that we created using the same sheet. I added this little, it's got a bit of cheesecloth under there, a bit of paper and a butterfly. This actually came in a mystery kit from Paper Inspirations. This is the little booklet that we made. I added some ribbon on that. I meant to add something else to it and I forgot. I will do that though. Got my little box of tricks here. So I could add a ticket. Got some tickets about that colour. So one of those. And I did have some little flowers. Yeah. So perhaps something like that on there. Don't want anything too bulky because it's got to go in that pocket. So I'll just add a little bit of ink to those. And as I said, I'm going to attach these with the glue straight to the front of the little booklet because it has to fit in that pocket and I don't want anything fouling on there. So I'm going to just use my glitter glue and I want that straight or on a bit of an angle. I think I might put it just on a bit of an angle like that, and then this flower can just sit on there like that, I think. Perfect. Okay, I could have added a little bit of cheesecloth under that as well, but as I said, I don't want too much bulk there. And I've got a pocket there. I can pop the tag into that. So I've got that all ordered. Now, I did find a little scrap of this same pattern paper, and remember I said that in the video they made a little pad. Well, this piece of paper was only 1/2 inch wide, so I did the best I could, and I've just put some papers in there, made a little notepad, and that will go in that top pocket. In here I've just got a tag, or just a little bit of ephemera really, just can be put anywhere at all. So to make that little booklet, all I did was fold that piece of pattern paper over and ink around the edges of it, and then sewed the paper in there using my sewing machine. When I moved that over that way, when I put that in there, and down here I added a little bit of ribbon, lace, same lace, the stitch thing that we made, and just a couple of little stamps in there. So there we have it, our one-page wonder, I guess you'd call it. So yeah, pretty happy with that, and yeah, I hope you've enjoyed watching the video, and I hope you can join me for my next video. Bye.